Hey, good morning, YouTubers. Welcome to Escape Talk Episode 1. Today we're going to discuss how and why we decided on an Escape 21C. So originally, we considered three different campers. We considered first the Casita, made here in Texas, the Escape, and the Intech sold Dusk. We felt for our needs that those were the three we were going to look at. Something small, lightweight, compact. We could go anywhere with it, and I didn't need a different tow vehicle. We tow with a Toyota Tundra, a 21 Toyota Tundra, and a 22 GX, a Lexus GX 460. So the first one we considered was the Casita. Due to its size, being lightweight, being a very durable, reliable camper, and because a friend had one for many years, so he always had good things to say about it, never had any issues, and had that for a good amount of years, and that's why we considered it. So we went to the Casita factory here in Rice, Texas, a few hours from here. And we went and looked at them on a Saturday, and right off the bat it was obvious that it was pretty small. We're not big people, so even the Casita was a bit small for us, but we were going to give it a chance. And when we looked at it, we noticed a few things we liked. We liked its durability. We liked the fact that it was a one-piece fiberglass unit, and that it was small, compact, and lightweight. It had some customization options with it for sure. It was made here in Texas, had awesome resale value, so that was a big thing. We hadn't owned a camper before, so if we were going to get into something and we didn't stick with it after a year or two, then if we were going to sell it, we wanted to get a good portion of our money back. It was molded fiberglass. Being a boat person, definitely molded fiberglass is near and dear to my heart, and it was lightweight. So those were the draws to it. One thing that was a negative, a few things that were negatives for the Casita was, one, its size. So it's a plus and a minus. It's extremely small inside. When I saw it, it seemed it was more of an evolution from a tent, from people with a tent and wanted basically an enclosed tent with air condition that they could tow. It had low quality materials in my opinion. The cabinet doors were made out of MDF. They kept telling me not to get them wet, and if I did get it wet, for us to wipe it quickly. That could obviously have some major problems down the road if moisture is a problem. They had two options for window shades. The first one was mini blinds, and people complained about those quite a bit. The next one was roll down shades, and those were the upgrade. And we went in late winter, and it was approximately like 42 degrees, 45 degrees when we went, and the roll shades would not roll back up. They would roll up extremely slowly. And I asked them about it, and they said that that was pretty common. That's just the way they operated. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm in freezing weather somewhere, or close to freezing weather, it's going to be a big problem if I need to put those shades up. Another con for the Casita was that it was a single axle. If we had a blowout, then that would definitely be a problem. We couldn't just coast off to the next exit. We would have to change a tire right there. Had a very small fridge, about the same size that you would find in a hotel. So that was very limiting in how far how long you could be out without having to go get groceries. Being down in South Texas, Southeast Texas, it gets extremely hot in this area, and they only had single pane windows, so that was definitely a negative. I was small, so the AC, I wouldn't think that it would have a problem, and everybody on the forum said that it gets very cold in there, so that's not too big of an issue, but they are giving you a lesser quality product with just single pane window. And they had very limited solar capacity. You couldn't get solar panels on the roof, just an external, like suitcase style panel. The next one we looked at was the Intech Dusk, and we absolutely loved it. We fell in love with it first time we saw it. We saw it at a RV show. It was the right size. The interior felt a lot more luxurious than any of the other campers that we had looked at. So it had a more modern interior design, for sure. If you look at them, and you'll see here on the screen, it has a modern interior design, and we absolutely loved it. It felt more luxurious. The design and layout definitely made it feel more spacious than it actually was. The front windshield is a big plus. It can give you a huge view, a great view of the location of where you're at. The construction of it had its pluses and minuses. One of the pluses definitely was that the frame, the whole frame was aluminum welded frame, and even the main frame underneath the camper is the same. It's all aluminum. So being that we typically go to coastal environments, and we live in a coastal environment, we spend a lot of time in Florida, aluminum construction was definitely a big plus. So one of the pluses definitely was the bathroom. It felt more spacious. It had a door that has rubber seals on it, so you didn't have to mess with anything else. You just close the door in that wet bath and just shower. It has an outdoor kitchen, so that was definitely a plus. And a large farmhouse sink. Had a large sink, the largest of the three for sure. As far as cons for the Intech, I had laminated fiberglass. So the other two, the Escape and the Casita, both had molded fiberglass exteriors. The Intech had a laminated fiberglass, so it's not as durable. Being down in the south, with all the humidity, it could destroy that laminated fiberglass over time. It had lots of windows, so that's a plus for sure. Great visibility outside. But also my concern was the heat. Being typically in Texas and in Florida, the heat coming through those windows was definitely a concern of mine. Definitely would require more heating and cooling in the summer and definitely in the winter. It was a single axle. As I said with the Casita, being a single axle, if you have a flat, you have to fix it right there on the highway. You probably don't have any time or the capacity to move it to the next exit as you would with a Escape 21C. Another negative was that it had exterior seams. So on the laminated fiberglass, it had seams. It wasn't a one-piece molded fiberglass like the Escape and the Casita. It was also a bit taller. Had a taller profile on it, so definitely more wind resistance going down the road. Did feel that it had less counter space than the Escape 21C for sure. And one of the other negatives was the black and gray tanks. The black and gray tanks was where they were combined, one unit. So it does could cause some issues trying to boondock with that setup. The Escape 21C, we had to call Escape or email them, and they got us in contact with some ambassadors from Houston, which is about an hour and a half here. from Golden Triangle. So we went over there, took a look at a 19 and a 21. And one of the things we really loved about the Escape was that it was fully customizable. I mean, just about everything. The types of windows, the exact flooring you want, the countertops, the cabinets, hatches, outlets, you name it, the cushions on the in the interior, the decals and the colors on the exterior. I mean, just about everything is customizable. So one of the positives was the molded fiberglass exterior. Just like the Casita, a one-piece exterior, which definitely helps to keep it leak-free. High resale value was definitely a plus. Definitely the top of our list. High resale value, just like the Casita. Very similar in resale value. I don't know which one has better resale value, but they both have very, very high resale values. One of the other pluses was the choices with the AC units. We went ahead and went with the Coleman AC unit, and that was because it came with a soft start, and we could have it plugged into a normal house plug on the exterior of our house and run the AC and run the lights inside and the refrigerator. So that's how we have it connected now. It works great. We didn't have to put in a 30 amp plug in our house. One of the other pluses was definitely that it was a double axle trailer. So unlike the Casita and the Intech Soul Dusk, it has 2 axles. So if we did have a blowout or a flat on the highway, we could pull off to the next exit, get it changed out, and that would definitely make it easier and less risky for us on the road. And I think it was right size for us. The Casita was too small. I could see us maybe for a season enjoying it, and then just it being way too small, especially if it starts raining. I think you have to spend a lot of time outside, depending on what you like to do, where you like to go. Being down south, it's always extremely hot and a lot of mosquitoes. So having the capability to be inside the camper and being comfortable was definitely a plus for us. The cabinets on the Escape 21C were very high quality, and the fact that we could choose between 3 different colors was definitely a plus for us. But you could see the quality difference between the Escape 21C and the Casita. It's just night and day difference. Definitely a plus was it being lightweight. The 21C we optioned out was at 3,700 pounds, a little over 3,700 pounds, so still pretty light. A small SUV or mid-size SUV and a small mid-size pickup could definitely tow. It definitely had a lower profile than the Intech. It was a bit shorter profile, so it definitely helps with traveling down the road. It had good options for solar. You can get solar up on the roof, and you can even have it optioned out to have solar. You can connect another solar suitcase to it if you'd like. And it had a good size fridge. It had a very large fridge. You could have plenty of food for a week and not have to worry about it. So that was another reason we like the 21C. Now, some of the cons for the Escape was their location. It's a Canadian company, so it's out of the country. If you need anything done to it, our concern was how we're going to get that done. And we'll discuss that later on down the road, how that gets done, how those issues get resolved, if there's any issues. But so far, we've been extremely happy with the Escape 21C. So delivery was a big thing. It does cost money to have the trailer delivered from Canada to Texas, or you could pick it up for free in Canada, but that's definitely a long haul for us. the wait time. So when you order a camper from Escape, it's made to order. Definitely a huge plus, but definitely if you need one right away, it can be a setback, as you're going to have to wait a little bit of time to get your Escape. And really the cost. So the Escape 21C was the most expensive option, but you did get to order it the way you wanted it. So it's plus and minus for the Escape 21C on the cost. So let's talk about cost. I view cost a little differently. I have not heard anybody talk about cost when it comes to campers the way I view it. And I view it similar to a regular house, price per square foot. So let's talk about that. So the first one that we looked at was the Casita. That one had an MSRP of $25,996. The interior dimensions are 13 feet 4 inches in length by 6 feet 80 inches in width, actually, is what it is. Price per, so it's a total of 87.78 square feet with those dimensions. A price per square foot of $296.14. The Escape 21C had an MSRP of $42,195. Interior dimensions of 17 feet long and 7 feet 4 inches in width. That gives a grand total of 124.67 square feet of interior space. Price per square foot is $338.45. The Intech Soul Dusk has an MSRP of $44,940. Interior living space of 18 feet in length, 7 foot wide, for a total square footage of 126 square feet. That brings its price per square foot at $356.66. So the Casita had the lowest price per square foot at $296.14, followed by the Escape at $338.45, and the Intech Soul Dusk, the highest, at $356.66. That is at full MSRP. That's not including any discounts or dealer markdowns from any of them. That's just strictly MSRP. So we decided to go with Escape 21C due to the items that I mentioned of its reliability, its resale value, its durability, its customization options, its overall well-built camper. We are extremely happy with it. We've had virtually no problems. There are a few things that we did have upon delivery, and we'll discuss that, how our delivery went and that whole ordering process went. But our first episode, we just wanted to discuss why we went with the Escape 21C. Overall, we felt the 21C fit our lifestyle the best. We felt it was the best value of quality, durability. All the reviews online, people love the Escape brand of trailers, and we didn't want something with slide outs to have leaks, so we ended up with the 21C, and we are extremely happy. And that's a wrap for episode 1 of Escape Talk. This is Travel MC, out.